All right, and away we go.
Right, cool. So, how's your day?
Fabulous.
All right, that's great to hear. So, what is in the news today?
A lot of things, as always.
Right, let's start with the first one.
All right, now this just came out. So Assad of Syria has fled the country of Syria, and the Syrian opposition have pretty much won the civil war that's been going on since 2011.
Wait, there's been a civil war in Syria since 2011?
Yes, it's been going on since 2011,
Wow.
and now it's over. It's
Oh,
over.
oh wow. Yeah, I'll be honest. All I've been hearing about, all I've been really hearing about, that in terms of news was, persecuted Christians, but I didn't know they had a whole war.
Yeah,
Wow, dang, a lot of people must have died, bro. Like you're telling me,
yeah.
people were in the front line since 2024.
Yeah, like that's more than a whole decade.
Wow, yo, you really got to salute that army, man, because it's been a war that's been going on for nearly a decade. That's actually amazing. That's
That
I'm
is admirable.
yeah, it really is. It's like I would bro, imagine starting out in your 20s, then you're imagine starting
Somewhere,
out
somewhere.
yeah somewhere in your 30s, or starting out in your 30s and somewhere in your 40s or 50s, man. It's like that's just I don't think I can do that. I don't think I'd be able to do that. At
I
least
don't
for
think
that.
many.
At
I don't
least
think
for
many
that
people
long.
could do that.
Yeah, seriously, it's like that is an army. Wow. I am glad the war ended, though. I mean, that's great. I mean, how did the war? How did you say the war ended again?
All right, so I haven't looked much into this story, but more recently I have seen a couple of protests in my city of Manchester. Were flying the Free Syria flags, which there's a difference between the current Syrian flag and the Free Syria flag that the protesters were flying. So the current Syria flag has a red stripe at the top, followed by white and then black at the bottom, and there are two stars. I'm not sure which color they have. I think they have to be green if the top banner is red. The Free Syria flag, which was the flag that was flown by people protesting on the streets, which is the opposition to the Syrian government, has a green banner at the top, followed by white and then black at the bottom, and has three red stars.
Okay, cool.
And I've seen on Instagram threads that the Syrian Football Soccer Association has changed their logo, showcased in the Free Syrian colors.
Huh. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's
Yeah.
it's quite a moment in history.
Yeah. No, definitely. I 100% agree. It's definitely a huge moment in history, and I'd say that's very admirable. Yeah. 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 But once again, the only thing I've been hearing about Syria. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Syria,
Syria.
Syria. Okay, Syria was just the many Christians that were persecuted there. At least that's what I've been hearing in the news, and the ones who were even martyred as well. I still don't get why they record this stuff, but it is what it is, though. I mean, it's for the most part, yeah, captured by Islamic terrorists, and that's all I've been really hearing about it, in recent news, and
Well,
just hope the Christians are okay.
yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, Syria is not the only country that has potentially done this. This is the case with every Muslim majority country. Even with the whatever small majority of Christians living in Muslim majority countries, of course there's going to be some kind, I'm not going to say discrimination, because although it's true, I feel like there's another way of describing it. I think
Persecution.
there's persecution, social pressure. I feel that there's social pressure in terms of religious differences.
Yeah,
That
I would say there's definitely social pressure. It's it's either become Muslim and live, or don't become Muslim and die. It's just those are legitimately the only two options you have. If you're living as a Christian in an Islamic country,
Yeah,
or
that's true.
a majority Islamic country. You know
Yeah,
how I put it, but for the most part, yeah, it's it's there yeah, there's bound to be some. like some, if not a lot of persecution and social pressure to just simply adhere to the pressure.
Yeah. And the thing is, you'd never hear stories like this in countries where Christianity is the majority and the Muslim is the minority.
Uh,
Like,
yeah,
even
because
even in those countries, they allow the Muslims in those Christian majority countries to go on with their lives and even allow having their mosques being built in that country.
yeah,
So
I mean, yeah, it's have you really heard about have you ever heard about a Christian Christian country killing people for being Muslim? I mean, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. At least as far as I know, it doesn't happen. Because well, it's look, I mean, yeah, we have differences. We have differences, and we're not gonna. I would say the difference between Muslim and Muslims and Christians is for the most part it's it's either you convert or you die in Islam, or it's if you it's if you preach the gospel and and it appeals to you, then that's and it appeals to you and it's that really touches you in your heart, then yeah, it's then it just the transformation goes from there. It's but for the most part, yeah, you have the free will to listen to what Christians have to say and what we have to say, and convert or just live your life.
yeah, and if an incident like that were to happen, I think we would certainly know about that by now, because such stories like that is something the mainstream media would go wild for. They would heavily talk about it for at minimum 2 weeks. That's what I think. The minimum 2 weeks. The story like that they will certainly talk about, like Christians going against Muslims. And I know there's been some stories about Muslims against Christians, but I think it's down to perspective. Not many people know these stories, and having them just just swept under the dust, it's quite a concern that there are stories that's important to know, but not many people are hearing about them.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. It's there's definitely a lot of stories out there that many people aren't hearing about. It's either because it's they want, it's yeah, they're obligated to put out the story, but they're probably just going to distract you with something else that's in the news. So it can take your attention off of that headline. And it's because I believe that the people who are controlling everything, don't know who they are, don't know their names, but the people who generally control the world. Okay, I'm not talking about anybody specific, but just the people in general. Yeah, it's they choose what to they choose what news they want to put out there, just put it in your face, and they choose. And they whatever news that they do put out there that they don't want you to necessarily, that they don't want a lot of people to see, they distract you with something else. Whether if it's the Super Bowl, whether if it's Pride Month, whether if it's any of these distractions that distract us from the main objective at hand. For instance, I believe there were some serious instances where it's it was very serious stuff, but we were distracted by something when it came to certain articles and certain headlines. uh yeah, and also they choose what to prop up and what to hide, but they still have an obligation to put it out there because it's
Yeah, of course. People rely on the news to get an idea and be updated on what goes on in the world.
yeah, but have you also heard the news about Jay-Z and Diddy?
No, I haven't. What's going on with those two?
Okay, apparently Jay-Z and okay, let me try to find it. I believe it was some news in regards to Jay-Z R-wording a 13-year-old, a 13-year-old back then. In I believe in 2000, an unnamed celebrity an unnamed female celebrity was watching it happen.
Dang.
Yeah, that's terrible, bro. No, no, that's awful though. That is honestly very awful.
Outrageous.
And it's yeah, it's I'm bro, no wonder. Is Jay-Z still is Jay-Z still in the country, or did he flee already? Because if he's not in the country, I don't blame him for fleeing. But it's bro, just take responsibility. You did it back in the day. how old was Jay-Z? Because Jay-Z's 55 now. What was he, like in his 30s?
Somewhere in his 30s in the 2000s, or at least in the turn of the millennium, roughly.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like Jay-Z. It's like I knew Jay-Z was a weirdo, but it's like I didn't know when we were gonna get the news though. Like this is alleged stuff, so like we're not even sure if it's true or not. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is true. I mean, like Diddy already.
Well, we want to know about him,
Yeah,
and he's in the big house, kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. He's in the big house, and he's either I don't know what Diddy's doing in a big house, and frankly, I don't care. I don't care. But man, it's like dude. Diddy's already in the big house, and I'm kind of hoping that if this is true, Jay Z will get justice. Jay Z. Sorry, no, I mean the person who was the victim will get justice over Jay Z. Cause I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure Jay Z has some songs out, has some good songs out. I wouldn't know. I don't listen to Jay Z. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, look, man, if he actually did that to a 13-year-old girl in his 30s, man, he needs to be in jail. He should be in jail. Yeah, obviously, we wish him nothing but the best, and I don't want anything bad to happen to him in jail. But it's like he should definitely not be within society if he raped it, if he R-worked someone.
He will pay the price.
Yeah, if it's true. But this is alleged. I'm not sure if it's true, but it's alleged, and I also wouldn't be surprised if it is true. But at the end of the day, it's Jay Z, and maybe his wife knows a ton about it. I assume it was her who was watching, but I wouldn't know. But anyways, what else in it? Wait, hold on.
Go on.
So I just went down the rabbit hole with the whole Jay Z and Diddy thing going on. Never thought ever that this man could be a predator. Really? You never thought that? A predator. But what do I know? Crazy things that I found out. A thread. In an interview with Charlie Ross, Jay-Z admitted that he met Beyonce when she was just 16 in 1997 and started dating around 1999. Huh. I mean,
Oh,
he waited. So still kind of creepy, but he waited. Beyonce has had a history of occasional slips, partially when it came to recalling her age during her first courtship over the years. She has mentioned being 17, 18, or 19, depending on the interview. Huh. She definitely met Jay-Z when she was just a 16-year-old girl in 1997. In 2007, In a 2007 interview, Jay-Z mentioned first noticing Beyonce about 10 years earlier, around the time she was recording like Destiny Child's debut album at 15. That's Jay-Z. What are you doing, man? I mean, you're not my idol, so I don't. You're not my idol, but like, bro, come on, man. 15. Let me stop. This suggested he had been aware of her or keeping an eye on her since she was 15 or 16 during the time she recorded No No No. I don't know Beyonce's songs. I really don't. Her
neither
2008.
do I.
Yeah, honestly, I don't listen to Beyonce. I really don't. Especially now because I've been hearing a lot that she's a witch, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not interested in her now, or at least I don't really care to be a part of her. But like, there's a whole lot more. But yeah, you get the gist though. You pretty much get the gist.
Yeah.
He met her when she was 15. Well, he was keeping an eye on her when she was 15, 16, and started dating her when she became of legal age. And
Mm.
yeah, I gotta say, man, it's like hi Jay Z, man, Jay Z. He just, I mean, don't give me. I mean, every dude likes younger, but obviously, I don't think they would be keeping an eye on a girl who's a teenager. I mean, unless then like just striking when it's like when they're legal, or at least not me. But anyways, is there anything else in the news?
China investigates Nvidia over suspected violation of anti-monopoly law.
Huh? Wait, hold on. Wait, anti-monopoly law? Do you know what the law is?
I don't know the exact details, but from the title alone, It's something about not having not having one company being the biggest, having the most market share in a specific industry. Like there has to be a balanced competition between companies in each sector. So there's always a fair chance for companies to have an impact in whatever sector that they're in and allow consumers to have the options of which service they want to use.
Wait, there has to be specifically a balanced competition, not just like one winning over the other one, just like balanced equally.
Yeah, that's my perspective. Like I get I get there are companies that do so well that they can be the biggest game. However, they don't want companies doing too well to the point that they're the only option. Because if that said company has whatever reason to say, we're not allowing this consumer to use our service anymore, where is that consumer going to go? If that said company is the only name that people know about, there has to be other companies that are just as viable options as the previous organization.
Got you. All right, that makes a lot of sense. That does. It does.
I can't argue with companies doing very well and having a huge consumer base, but there has to be a way to allow other companies to also do well and have a grab at having some influence in the market, and of course, allowing companies to be the most viable of options for consumers to use their service to begin with.
Yeah, that. Honestly, that's really true, and I 100% agree with that. And yeah, there always just needs to be like some fair, like fair things when it comes to stuff like that. Hold on, do people really still protest in the train station, like by going on the tracks and stopping the train?
Wait, they actually do? They still do that?
I think so. I'm looking at a video right now. I wonder if this is going on
I
right.
I th- I thought them just standing in the middle of the road is stupid enough. Standing on a train track, now their lives are done for. Like there is no way a train has enough time to actually stop in time to not kill those protesters.
I feel like if the train is going slow, then like maybe it would have some time, but like
Yeah, but not all trains go as slow as you think they are. They would only go
Oh,
slow if they're coming to a stop at that station.
oh, okay. This is a protest for Jordan Nelly because I heard that what's that guy's name? Daniel Penny got off like scot free. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm extremely out of the loop, so I'm not really gonna have an opinion on either of them. I know of the
Neither do
situation.
I.
I know of the situation, but I'm just extremely out of the loop. I'm just like I don't care enough about this to pay attention to it. I care enough about it to like hear about it, but like just not pay attention to it because it's just doesn't concern me. But obviously, if any families feel upset, I do feel for them, and I do hope that they get better. Because, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Nelly family lost their son. I mean, all I heard is that he was on drugs when he was getting choked out by that man. That's pretty much all I heard about it. But and that's all I hear. Like whether if it's on X, not on the news, obviously, just on X. But it's like, yeah. Anyways, what's up? What else in the news?
South Korea's Justice Ministry imposes a travel ban on President Yoon over martial law.
Oh wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder if they'll actually implement it like 100%.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, who know? I mean, who knows? I'll be honest. I was on a call like yesterday, and this guy was like, you should be like a South Korean teacher and teach English, and I'm like, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I mean, like they say that South Korea is a like a peaceful place, and I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it. But like, I'm not. I don't think I really want to be like a teacher of any sort, even if it is just teaching English. But it'd be cool to go to another country. That's that's all I got. That's like the only exciting thing that I can think of is just traveling the world and going to another country. Yeah. As for the law, it's like we just gotta wait and see what happens. Like when it comes to that type of stuff, because like at times certain states don't implement the laws that they had before. they had before, or at least to a high extent. Yeah, or at least to the highest extent. Like for instance, I just found out like a couple weeks ago that adultery was actually illegal in the state of New York, and I'm like, it was because it's like I'm only saying I was only surprised because it's like no one. I don't believe that there was any real repercussions for anyone who cheated on their spouse, and there wasn't. I'm pretty sure someone told me the last time that was implemented was in 2015, but I'm not really 100% sure. So it's yeah, it's with South Korea, it's like you never really know because sometimes in certain countries or in certain states they don't really implement their laws to the fullest extent. So let's just wait and see what happens.
Indeed.
Yeah. So is there anything else?
Marrakesh Festival spotlights tensions animating Morocco's movie industry.
Well, I'm sorry. Read that again.
Marrakesh Festival spotlights tensions animating Morocco's movie industry.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I will say this. I know people have opinions about how people make movies and what messages they want to show. However, if it's how do I put it? Morocco is another Muslim majority country. So I am not surprised that a story like this is coming out. Morocco is very firm on Islamic belief.
Mm.
And yeah, of course they're going to have some opinions about having messages like this being pushed out. And of course, people in the developed world, they'll have opinions about how can you promote something like this or not allow people of these groups being represented in some way. It's stuff like that, and moments like it will happen at some point, and
Yeah.
this is one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Just when you live in a certain country, it's you make a movie. Yeah. You'll have a specific agenda. I mean, shoot. Even though this one movie, I'm pretty sure it was called Bros. It had a specific agenda, and you know what? I didn't watch it because I'm pretty sure it was just from my knowledge, I'm pretty sure it was a matter of fact. Let me look it up so that I'm accurate on this. Actually, hold on. Let me look this up. Bros movie, a romantic comedy. Yes, okay. It was a gay romantic comedy romance. Sorry, comedy romance. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching that. I mean, it's it's just it had a specific agenda, and I'm like, look, I don't as far as as far as the person goes, I don't hate the person. I don't have a reason to hate the person. The individual, I did now. I disagree. With their actions, but at the end of the day, it's like, what am I gonna do about it? What am I gonna do about it? Just curse them out, hate them for it? Nah, it's but yeah. For instance, that movie had its own agenda. I just simply didn't watch it. For the most part, and I'm pretty sure there are tons of other shows and movies that I used to watch or that I still watch that have an agenda, that have a hidden agenda that I didn't even notice as a kid. Whether if it's it can be anything really. I'd say the agenda with any type of movie can be anything. So for the most part, you just have to kind of watch out on what you want to watch. I mean, if the agenda is consuming the show or movie that you like watching so much to the point where it's unwatchable, then yeah, I'd say stop watching it. But if it's not, if it's tiny stuff that you can easily just brush under the rug, then I'm like, okay. There are some things that have certain ideas that I don't agree with, but if the agenda is not overwhelming the show, for instance, if there's if there's one gay couple in the background in a movie and it's not overwhelming the entire movie, if it's a comedy or if it's supposed to be a serious movie, if it's not overwhelming the movie, I'm like, all right, I can tolerate this. That one part, I personally thought was unnecessary, but as long as I'm able to laugh, I'm able to enjoy what I'm watching, then cool. It's Don't agree with it, but cool. It's like, because the one thing because I'm pretty sure the one thing most people want is, and this is going to be sad when I say this, mind-numbing content to distract from their regular life. Mind-numbing movies to distract themselves from their regular day-to-day lives. Some people just want to unwind, and it's like they just don't want something like that in their face 24/7, because it's like maybe they work in an environment where they have to see that 24/7, and they're like, okay, let me watch this action movie. Like, let me watch this action movie. Let me watch this comedy movie. Let me get a laugh. Let me get a little bit of a laugh, or let me enjoy myself before I go to bed. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? Hello?
Hello there.
Yeah. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, and I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So it's like, I've mentioned this show so many times, but Andy Mack, it was a great show. It was a great show.
Yeah, it
Didn't
works well. It very works.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for the show. Although, after they turned pretty much after they turned the character gay, it's like they didn't necessarily have an idea. They didn't necessarily have a direction for him. I will say that. But after that, it's like he was just simply a regular character. He's still doing the same thing he was doing before, and I'm like, all right, the story is still pretty good. The writing is amazing, and yeah, it's like the writing is amazing, the story is amazing. It's like as long as it's a all around story, like, look, man, add whatever you want, just don't make it overwhelming. Unless that's like, I guess, the premise of what you want in a show. But I would say, like, certain ideas just won't necessarily have a show succeed. And, it does show. It shows. Because, like, many shows have been canceled because of certain ideas. Yeah, I'm not going to name any shows, but, it's like, for the most part, it depends on the idea and, like, how many people support it. And, if a lot of people don't support it, then it's clearly not the best idea. But is there anything else in the news?
TikTok is inching closer to a potential ban in the United States.
I'll say this. At this point, I personally don't care.
Yeah, neither do I.
It's like, bro, I mean, if TikTok is going to get banned, fine. I mean, do I hate it as much as I used to? No. Am I going to use it? No.
No.
Never. But it's like, look, man, I mean, I admit there's some things wrong with TikTok, and probably for that reason it should go. But at the same time, I would say, like, maybe I believe Trump will stop it, and if Trump doesn't stop it, then bye bye TikTok, I guess. But I don't know. It's like, bro, it's like I'm not necessarily that excited about it, because I'm like, at first I was like, yeah, TikTok is going. But I don't know. Also, I'm not gonna lie, my mom enjoys watching videos on TikTok too. So I mean, it's like that's probably one of the things, you know, that would probably, like, have me say that's probably the only reason that I'd probably say let TikTok stay, because my mom enjoys watching videos on there. But other than that, I really don't care about the app. I just don't. I mean, I'll be honest. I've used alternatives, like, first before I ever used TikTok. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've really ever thought of using TikTok. Have you? Well, right, you've used TikTok before.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, one thing I'm thinking about is what happens after the ban. The reason I'm asking this, majority of the most followed top 50 TikTok creators, most of them are from the US. So now begs the question, after the ban, who's going to be the biggest TikTok creators?
You said who's going to be the biggest TikTok creators?
Yes, because a lot of the top 50 TikTok creators are from the US. After the TikTok ban, who's going to be the most followed TikTok user? Well, I already know what it's going to be. It's going to be Kavilan from Italy. But then who's going to be the second most followed TikTok creator? Because Charlie D'Amelio, as of now, is the creator with the second most followers.
Still,
When the TikTok ban is in place, who's going to take the number 2 spot?
still Charlie D'Amelio. Does she even use TikTok anymore?
She still kind of uses TikTok,
She
just
just
not as
she,
often she did before.
she just doesn't, like, dance and all that stuff anymore, or does she still dance every?
She might still dance every now and then, But of course, just there's other things going on. So you can't do TikTok dances forever. You have to venture out into other avenues. Addison Rae with her
Yeah, I'm
beauty
not.
brand.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I will say this: if you're like in your 30s, bro, and you're still doing TikTok dances, I'm sorry, I'm gonna laugh at you. I mean, like, just take yeah, but like, I would say like TikTok. I would say depending on the content you're doing, it could definitely be a long term revenue area. But I say if you're doing something such as skits, I would say like you would need to branch out to do something bigger. If you're doing skits, do move like branch out and do movies. Capitalize off of whatever success you got from TikTok from whatever skit you did, and then branch off into making full on movies. Do something in the make your own I don't know, even make your own production studio as well. Like branch off and become a producer, or of small skits. Even like probably own like a small like content creating business. Do something. Do something. So like you wouldn't have to do that for the rest of your life. Dancing, whatever that you got off of dancing, capitalize off of something like Charlie D'Amelio and Addison. Did Addison Rae dance on TikTok? Did she start out dancing?
Yeah, yeah, she did.
Okay, yeah, like do what Addison Rae or Charlie D'Amelio or Dixie D'Amelio did. Just branch off doing makeup, doing what, or even opening up like a dance studio, teaching other people how to dance. I don't know, just do that. Pretty much is like you need to have a long term goal for if you're gonna do these short term goals first. It's like you need to have a bigger plan in your head. Otherwise, you're just gonna fade off into irrelevancy, and try to salvage whatever money you can make off of the TikToks that you do. Pretty much everything is about evolving. You have to evolve over time, otherwise you're just gonna get stale. And like for instance,
Yeah,
NPC Miles Morales. I mean, his thing was getting stale and boring until Kai pretty much saved him. I mean, and he said he was going to like not do the Miles Morales thing anymore because shoot, I mean, he already made it on stream. So it's like if he were to just continue doing this, it would have yeah, it would have gotten repetitive. And on top of that, I'm not gonna lie, that's not a long term goal. Just pretending to be an NPC on TikTok. That's like something that you can do, but it's like you got to branch out and do something more. Like he said, like he was gonna start streaming more. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. I mean, like, so you won't have to constantly put on a costume and pretend to be an NPC. It's like that. That's great because once again, I couldn't do that NPC thing. I really couldn't. Like I couldn't. It's just
cringe.
it is. Yeah, it's not that it's a lot of work. It's not that it's a lot of work. It probably is, but it's not that. It's just that, bro, it's cringe. I couldn't look back at that and be proud of.
Just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Kai stuff, yeah, I could probably be proud of and laugh about, but the other stuff is like I could not be proud of that. Maybe Miles Morales is different because it's like he was just pretending to be Spider Man, but you know, everybody else, I could not be proud of that. I could not have that be my legacy, or it will be my legacy. But I'm gonna say, son, yeah, I used to do this stuff, and then I got transitioned into this, and it's like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, hey, I mean, it is what it is, man. You gotta like think of a long term goal that you can make money off, but also enjoy doing because
Yeah,
you're not gonna enjoy doing the same things for the rest of your life. It's like you're gonna eventually want to evolve unless that same thing that you're doing is your passion and it's making you a good amount of money to live off of. But yeah, for the most part, that's about it for me. Anything else?
Golden Globes nominations anger fans as director of 450
No, I'm sorry. Read that again.
Golden Globes nominations anger fans as director of $450 million blockbuster snubbed.
Oh wow, it's snubbed. It's crazy.
Yes.
What do you think about this?
Well, it's gonna happen. But what's important is not the destination, it's the journey and the people that you gain support of along the way.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. People would be like, if people heard that, like, someone say it's not the destination, it's the journey. Like, people would probably just look at you like, really? The destination? they would have said that. I don't know what they would have said, but like I'm thinking of something they would have said. But I'm like, yo, you're right though. It is definitely about the destination instead of the journey. And it's like you just gotta just take it on the chin and just move on. That's all.
Yeah,
That's honestly all you can really do because it's like, what else are you really gonna do after that?
yeah. There's so much we could do. We just don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But what else is out there in the news?
Nightlife in Manchester.
Oh yeah, you said you knew some of those people.
Yeah, I do.
Th-
I did actually.
Huh? Did you guys like stop talking? Like, what happened?
Well, all I can say is, over the years, uh, I've I've found a way. I had a technique. I have a method of establishing connection with people. And the reason I actually knew most of the people is because they knew other people. I had a thing. I have a thing for connections, and that's why I knew these people. And I'm not just talking about college and university and my flatmates when I was in student accommodations. Although that is part of the reason. The rest is just friends of friends of friends, etc.
Hmm. Okay. I'll be honest. I knew you were popular, but I just didn't know you knew that many people.
Well, in Manchester, it may be a big city, but it's a small world.
Big city, small world.
Yes, everyone in Manchester knows each other.
Wow. Huh. Now I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's not just because Manchester has a massive media industry where having connections and knowing people is vitally important. It's just the a lot of people in Manchester are just very nice. Even if people in terms of appearance and if even the homeless people, they may come out as not approachable deep down, but they are very nice people and they are very sociable too. So even on the outside, you may never think what where would I see with this person, but you get to know them. Life isn't so bad. I bet that's the case with a lot of cities in the north of England because a lot of northerners really had life a lot rougher than most people in the UK. Okay, maybe on par with the Scots, the Welsh, and Northern Irish. But otherwise, Northern England, it may be rough, but they try to support each other no matter what, because life could be worse,
That's
and they
true.
have not much to lose.
Yeah, I mean that's true. It's like you always got to stick together, like with the people that you know, and yeah, life can get rough at times. It really could, and so you just have to choose the best people to stick with. And I had no idea that once again I had no idea that a lot of people knew each other in Manchester. So I mean that's cool, but also yeah, it's just cool. I really don't know how else to explain it. But have you heard of the rapper named Dave Blunt?
No, I haven't.
Well, long story short, he's pretty much an extremely obese dude who is addicted to lean or who drinks lean.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know if he can. Now the point is just like, bro, this man is extremely unhealthy. I mean, on top of that, like, man, he like sips he sips lean, and I'm pretty sure he had this one song, like it says like he can't put down the cup, and it's like, dang man, it's like, not for one, it's like I'm gonna send it in, I'm gonna send something in the chat, but like pretty much he's in a hospital bed recording a new song, and I'm like, dude, really? I mean, man, it's like, bro, like. I don't know what's wrong with him, but it's like, man, it's like he needs to lose this weight and give up and stop sipping lean. I know it's not the lean that made him that big though. So it was just a factor of like many other things, and I'm like, you can't help to feel bad for the dude. It's like it's fun. I mean, is obviously like it's funny to make fun of the guy, but it's like at the same time, it's like, bro, it's like this dude needs help. It's like he's not gonna live to, like if he keeps going like however he's going, man, he's not gonna live a very long time. It's like this dude is very big. I don't know. I mean, it's like, bro, it's like I don't know if they're trying to promote a specific agenda, but it's like it's just sad. It's really just sad. It's like this dude is addicted to lean. he's fat, and it's like it's just very unfortunate. I mean, it just brings you like to the fact it just brings you to the point of like maybe we should be trying to like help this guy out and not well make fun of the guy. Well, okay, I'm pretty sure making fun of him is a part of his brand or his gimmick. No, being fat is officially his gimmick now because it's like this is how people will remember him by. Yeah, he just started blow. I guess he just started blowing up really because it's like I'll be honest. I've heard of him briefly before, but not to this like amount. And he has a great voice. Like I think he has a great voice too. But it's like it's just sad because he's fat and he's addicted to lean. I'm like, man, it's like I don't want to support a guy like that because it's like he can barely stand up. And on top of that, if I support him, then it's like okay, it's like I'm encouraging this, and like just by going to his concerts, just by like just by paying for by paying him in general, you're you know contributing to his downfall. I mean, like he's gonna continue to eat more, he's gonna continue to drink lean, and I'm like it's just sad. Yeah, but for the most part, yeah. I mean, I really just hope the guy gets healthy because I don't want to see the guy die. I really don't.
Neither do I.
Yeah, it's like if he if he dies next year, hopefully he does make it to next year. Then man, it's like okay, man, it's like dang. But one thing I realized though, it's like a lot of people just encourage this type of stuff, and it's just sad. But moving on. What else is there? Or what else is there?
Let's see. More than three-quarters of Earth's surface has become permanently drier.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, say that again.
More than three-quarters of Earth's surface has become permanently drier.
Wow, really? That is surprising.
Yes. A United Nations report revealed that climate change has caused three-quarters of Earth's land to become permanently drier in the last 3 decades.
How do you think that happened?
Yeah, I wonder why. Very, very interesting.
I feel like I've heard this somewhere before, but I can't put my I don't either. Maybe I've heard this somewhere before in like a case of this happening somewhere else. I'm not really sure, but like for the most part, I will say this. I just wonder what's gonna happen from there. Because it just got drier. It just got drier, like after like years and years.
Yeah,
I just wonder what's gonna happen next, because like I really don't have much of a take. I really don't have much of a take on it. It's like how will this affect like day to day life? How will this affect the world in general? I mean, will other places continue to get drier and drier as the years go on? Like, what will really happen?
who knows?
But yeah. Anything else in the news?
Yes, there is. Oh boy. Here we
What
go.
What is it?
Reddit rolls out AI search feature.
Huh? Why an AI search feature? Like, well, what's that about?
Well, Reddit has started testing a new AI search feature called Reddit Answers, which offers users curated responses from the platform's threads.
Huh? Okay. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, I understand that at some point AI is going to be integral for a lot of operations. However, we can't always just rely on artificial intelligence for everything. If anything, AI should be used as a tool to train us to be faster, efficient, and effective in whatever task it is being set on us.
Huh? All I'm gonna say is this. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do believe that we should stop relying on AI for the most. I would say like for the most part we should stop relying on AI for certain things, especially like to make our lives easier. But instead we should be making ourselves smarter. But that's also ultimately what they want. I mean, like they want us to rely heavily on technology. They want us to rely heavily on technology, so that for the most part, we will be able, so we won't have the like capacity to think for ourselves and the capacity to like pretty much. They want us to rely on AI as if it's our god, and as if it's the only thing that can give us the answers to like the world's problems. When in reality, AI only knows as much as you put into it. Yeah, it's like so. I'd say with AI, it's good, but it's also bad at the same time. It's good for making you smarter and like making and finding answers that you don't have the answers to, but it's also bad because it's like if you put a heavy reliance on it, you're probably gonna start using AI for like certain things, like for instance talk like searching up on AI how to pick up girls and like pick like and looking up how like you can like as the kids say riz a girl up during a texting exchange, but some people would also say woo a girl in a texting exchange. But for the most part, yeah, it's like if you put a heavy reliance on AI and not just like the research that we have already, and with like the history books that we have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in regards to like history, everyday life, then well, you're doomed. I'd say there's really no escaping technology. So the best thing we can do is just I don't want to say adapt to the fullest because that is putting all of your faith in technology. Adapt to an extent, but ultimately know when to unplug. Yeah. So is there anything else AI related, or is there something else in the news?
I'm scrolling through my saved TikTok videos, and I come across. I'm just gonna play it, and you hear for yourself.
Wait, hold on. Was it?
I don't know why. It just makes me laugh hearing that song.
I'm sorry. Was it saying pedo something? What?
No, Biggie is the name.
Like Biggie Smalls, the rapper?
No, his name is Big Heath.
Oh, Big Heath. I'll be honest. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. What was he rapping about?
Oh, I don't know, but Biggie is the name. I'm a chop chop chop. That's not exactly, but not even I understand what he's saying. But the way he says it is just hilarious.
Huh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I had no idea what he was saying. But yeah. Anyways, is there anything else? Let me try to look for something actually on Twitter.
All right,
Free him. Who's him?
who is him?
Some guy named Luigi Mangione. Luigi. Let's just call him Luigi. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. His
Okay.
his ex. I think this photo of his ex account might be. I'll be honest. I have no idea what the situation is with this guy. It's just a random guy that I see on my that I'm seeing on my time feed. Like I have no idea why either.
Yeah, it happens.
Derek Carr went sports. I don't care. Christ, how much more fascinated with Jesus than how much more fascinated with Jesus than the Antichrist are you? Oh, I'm much more fascinated with Jesus than the Antichrist. Pope Francis about prophecy update. The Antichrist is alive today, so Jesus Christ could come to. Okay, he's not coming today. I wish he would, but he's not coming today.
Yeah, today's not the day.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus is not coming today. It's like come on now. Wish he would, but he's not. He's not coming today. It's like stop trying to guess. Stop trying to guess the day that he's coming. But for the most part, I'll be honest, I can't really find anything interesting.
It happens.
Yeah. What else? Actually, no. What else in the Discord server that we can talk about?
All right, yeah, sure. Oh yeah, Risk sent something in the chat. The government is planning to introduce digital IDs to allow a single app to verify ID for buying alcohol, tax, bank accounts, and more, says the Times.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Digital IDs. Wow. How do I feel about that? Well, yeah, how do I feel about that? I have no idea. I feel like eventually we will get digital IDs. I mean, because it's like ultimately speaking, as everything becomes
Every,
more. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, everything's digital.
Yeah, everything's gonna just get more digital each and every single day. I personally don't see a reason why we should get away from traditional IDs, but we're eventually going to get digital IDs anyways, because well, that's the government. That's what they will for the world, and I'm just wondering what the market of beast will look like. Will it be in the form of this digital ID, or will it be in the form of having to get another shot.
Absolutely.
That is a very interesting question that I would like answered, but clearly it's not going to be answered until the time comes. And for the most part, I'd say, yeah. I mean, just prepare yourselves. Do they have a specific date on when they plan on like introducing these digital IDs?
No, they don't have. They have not have put. They're not set up specific dates. They just say we're going to do something like that at some point.
I'll give it like 3 years.
I give it 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say like yeah, I was also gonna say three or 5 years. I'll give it like actually 5 years. I'll be generous. I'll give it 5 years.
Yeah.
Then everyone's gonna be have a digital ID.
Yes.
And shoot. So would you think that would be cool? A digital ID?
Well, it may sound cool at first, having everything digital, where you don't need to have something physical on you. However, how can we trust technology if there isn't anyone with the skills to fix any of the bugs or fix any technological problems that would come with such technology?
I would say for the most part, from the outside looking in, that seems like a very cool idea. It's like digital IDs. Like that sounds really cool. But in terms of uh what I know now, it's not that cool of an idea. It's cool in a sense where it's like okay, cool, it's a digital ID, but at the same time, it's like how do you know it won't be like wired, and people won't be listening into like every word that you're saying like they're probably doing on our phones right now. I mean, like who knows what these digital IDs will offer, but at the same time, you never know what's gonna happen next. They might just surprise you.
So true.
Is there anything else? Or is
Well, so I got an email about responding to a petition that I signed asking to make breaking a manifesto against the law and trigger a general election. And of course, the government responded. Now, it's very long, there's so many paragraphs,
wait?
but in
Wait,
a nutshell, go on.
you got a government email?
Oh no, I don't have a government email. I've signed a petition about making breaking a manifesto against the law and trigger a general election, which
Ah,
then is delivered to a committee of the UK government.
oh, okay, got you. I'll carry on.
So they responded, there's tons of paragraphs, but in a nutshell, it says the government are committed in delivering their promises in the manifesto they elected on the grounds of rebuilding Britain and the NHS. The government has not broken any promises in their manifesto, and the government will continue to deliver on the manifestos in which they were elected on cabinet office.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. It seems like a very standard response, but okay.
Yeah, I've heard so many people arguing that Labour that they are going back on nearly everything that they promised that will do when getting to government in the general election. It's like you say, I'm gonna try and build 1 million homes this year. Only to say, okay, I don't think we can do that. Like, this is this is what I'm getting with the current government. They say they'll do something, only to go back on it and say, we're going to need a bit more funding to ensure that we can do this. And the question is, and again, this is just me, when they say they're going to build a couple million homes, at what time frame? What's the time frame they say they'll build these homes? Will this be during the time currently in government, each year, each week? Like, it something like that for me isn't so clear. If they made it clear, okay, fair enough. At least you're putting some thought into it. However, that's just not something I've heard recently, and I know that, and that's something a lot of people are not hearing much about either. So yeah, I can't argue. Like, this is early days. They only been in government for a few months, Labour. However, I am starting to wonder how far will the rabbit hole go? will will there be a point that they do deliver on the promises that they say they'll do when asking the people to elect them into office? Or will they try to continue to say, we're going to have to raise this, raise that, we're going to have to cut off funding for that? What I'm hearing at the moment is just saying, we're going to increase this, we're going to cut that. That's all I'm hearing in the press right now. I haven't heard any other major policies in regards to green energy, building new homes. I would like to see new homes being built, but I haven't heard much about new homes recently. However, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. We have our own perspective in the world. Only time will tell. Like, people have a voice. I will say this. It is early, again, this is early days. Labour has only been in government for like a couple months. I will give them at least a year to deliver on what they said they will do. But otherwise, the UK public are just not happy at the moment, and whatever they're arguing against it about, I can't argue with that. They have a point. I don't agree with them, but they do have a point. And Keir Starmer specifically, I know he's saying he's doing what he can. However, people are saying that he's going to be out by Christmas. I'd say maybe a year or two. In a year or two from now, maybe actually as of the general election, new Labour leader will come in to continue the job that Keir Starmer has been left off on.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I agree. All right. So, is that it for us, or is there more?
I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Peace.